I'm Caroline Gentry. I'm editor of Engerati, and I'm here at Utility Week Live with Joe McDonald, who's Vice President of Sales for Limejump.
Yeah.
Hi, Joe.
Nice to be here, thank
Hi.
you.
Hi. I just thought we could start by, if you could tell me a little bit about your virtual power platform and how that's going.
Yeah, it's exciting. Obviously, built that around 4.5 years ago. We're actually just approaching a gigawatt of power under management, which is really exciting. Hopefully be there in the next month or so. We are now active across all markets, like a virtual power station should. So we've recently went into the balancing mechanism, which was one of the last kind of markets that were left for us.
Okay.
So we're now actively managing a range of battery storage projects, gas peakers, demand assets, wind, solar, hydro, anaerobic digestion, all under one mix of a virtual power station, and operating that with National Grid, as well as the wholesale markets, and as I said recently, the balancing mechanism. So it's going somewhere, that's for sure.
Great. And how is the UK doing in general in terms of integrating renewables and promoting that?
Yeah, it's interesting. So obviously, since subsidies have been withdrawn from wind and solar specifically, with the FIT and the ROCs coming to an end, we have seen a delay. But what I think we saw is a penetration of renewables probably wasn't expected at the rate that had come previously. So we're already seeing the impact of having a lot of wind on the system, for example, and it is causing the intermittency issues that we would have predicted, but perhaps a bit earlier than expected. I think we're on the verge of seeing the kind of subsidy-free projects get the go-ahead, and that's just a little bit more of an optimization piece, a little bit more complicated than it was from simply getting a subsidy. But I think once that ball starts rolling, we'll really start to move towards the ability to fully decarbonise the grid with the removal of coal around 2021, 2022. So it is exciting, but a little bit stalled.
Right. And what happened last week? I saw that you had some issue with the interconnector. It stepped in to plug that gap.
Yeah, well, I think that's actually really interesting. That's quite similar to what I've just spoken about. So realistically, what we had is a situation where we had quite a high wind output in the morning. That dropped off quicker than expected. So National Grid's forecast wasn't quite able to pick up the drop off on the wind in the afternoon. So we came in about a gigawatt short of power, which started to see system prices peak up. And then on top of that, we have a new interconnector in Belgium, which tripped. As you may expect from a newly commissioned asset, they're already having issues with that, which lost another gigawatt. So we came into a few settlement periods nearly 2 gigawatts short of power. So what we saw is frequency triggered in the UK. So a lot of Limejump's assets, for example, came on for static frequency. Our dynamic frequency batteries were already performing. But we also, probably for only the second time, got our balancing mechanism units brought on alongside pump storage hydro. They needed very, very quick response, seconds, in order to manage such a big drop on the interconnectors. And those were the two kind of core asset bases they called on, our batteries and the normal pump storage assets up in Scotland.
Right. And how do you use digital tools then with this new platform? You use machine learning, right?
Yeah, machine learning is one that does get banded around a lot.
Yeah.
So we run a cloud-based platform, which means where the decisions are made are in the cloud. So we are very heavily driven by data science, deep learning, machine learning. What we're effectively using our analytics team to do is help forecast all sorts of different price points.
Okay.
So they're forecasting frequency to allow us to remove latency issues and control our assets in real time. They're forecasting National Grid embedded benefits to predict price spikes there. They're forecasting demand to help us understand where our balancing mechanism units should be used. And they're doing this all in a way that obviously couldn't be done by humans. And what we see is, as it is machine learning, they do improve over time. So already today, our Pursuos forecasting, for example, is nearly 30% more accurate than what we're seeing coming out of National Grid's forecasting system.
Okay.
So that's really exciting. But like any sort of machine learning or deep learning program, we just need more and more data. So the amount of data we have to actually crunch and extract, the more we can get of that, the more accurate we can get our forecast. It's still early days, but the impact is quite extreme already.
Okay. And what's been the impact of Shell's investment, and how much interaction do you have with Shell, if any?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a trend generally at the moment. I mean, Limejump's view on this was it would be very difficult for us to hit the scale and impact we want to make without a very big balance sheet. Unfortunately, when we're working in wholesale markets especially, collateral requirements, balance sheet, and even certain products and services that can be offered to a customer on guaranteed revenues, it would have taken us years and years and years. So we saw an amazing synergy actually with Shell, and you've probably seen that recently. They're making a very big play into power. They are keeping us as a wholly owned subsidiary, which is great, so we get to continue doing what we're doing best, and we effectively just get supercharged through access to their support and their balance sheet. And I think so far we're seeing that there is already a great benefit. We signed one of our largest solar deals in the UK, with about 136 megawatts of solar was signed 2 weeks after the Shell acquisition, and I don't honestly think that could have happened without them. So we are seeing a positive impact, and we're seeing them not smother us like they could at 100,000+ people versus our 60. But yeah, what we're seeing is early synergies, and I think you're seeing more of a trend that big oil are making that move away from their traditional business models to the power markets, where everyone is getting very excited.
Okay, great. Well, good luck to you.
Yeah,
All
thank you very much.
Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks.